Sup guys, it's Alex here and welcome to the coin flip edition of filling out my 2021 NCAA Tournament Bracket. Man, I am so freaking excited for this coin flip video. It's always one of the craziest videos that I do. I mean, we always have like 16 seeds winning and upsetting 1 seeds in the first round. We have double-digit seeds making the Elite Eight, the Final Four, the National Championship game even, and we always have surprise winners because obviously none of this stuff is going to happen in the NCAA tournament. So it's always just one of my favorite videos to do. And speaking of favorite videos, make sure you check out my actual NCAA tournament predictions video. That one is doing pretty good so far. Thank you guys for all the support on that. Make sure you go check it out. Also check out all my NCAA Basketball 10 simulations that are going to be coming out here starting today and going through till the day before the actual national championship game, where I will be having my national championship game. I am simulating the entire 2021 NCAA tournament on NCAA Basketball 10 with real rosters, so make sure you check that out. It's taken a long time to film, but I hope you guys enjoy. So let's go ahead and get started here. So we are going to start with Gonzaga versus Norfolk State and Appalachian State. Let's flip it here. It was automatically on tails because I had to look up coin flip here. We have heads, so we do have Gonzaga winning that one, so no 16 seed winning. Oklahoma versus Missouri. Let's see who we're having. Oh, by the way, the heads versus tails. Heads is who is on top. So like over here we have heads, who is on top of the bracket. We have Gonzaga being on top, and then we would have like Norfolk State or Appalachian State. If it was tails, we would have tails being the bottom. It doesn't matter about seeds. It just matters about who's on top and who's on bottom, because we could have seeds in the Final Four to rather the same one. So that's just kind of how we're doing it here. So we have tails here. That means we have Missouri upsetting Oklahoma. Let's click it again. I mean, so far we have the same predictions as I have in my actual predictions, but we come to an end here because I had UC Santa Barbara winning, but the coin flip has Creighton winning in a 5 versus 12, so no upset there. Will we have an upset here? We will have 13 seed Ohio upsetting Virginia. Another way to look at it is, especially for these first round matchups, if the lower seed, tails. If it's tails, it's going to be an upset. So we have the winner of Wichita State and Drake upsetting USC here. So Kansas versus Eastern Washington. This one could be huge if it's tails. We have Kansas moving on as the 3 seed there. So up next we have Oregon versus VCU. Who do we have? We have VCU as the 10 seed beating Oregon. All right, this would be huge if we could have Grand Canyon somehow upset Iowa. Come on, Grand Canyon. We have Grand Canyon winning. We have a 15 seed upsetting a 2 seed in Grand Canyon over Iowa. I mean, obviously that one's not going to happen in real life, so it's just fun to see here. So we're going to go ahead and move down the bracket here to Region 4, taking a flip here. Will we have a 16 seed? We do not. We have Michigan moving on past Mount St. Mary's and Texas Southern. Up next, we have LSU and St. Bonaventure. The coin flip has St. Bonaventure moving on past LSU. Then Colorado versus Georgetown. Come on, I want to see upsets across the entire bracket, and we see an upset there. We have 12 seed Georgetown here moving on past Colorado. So up next, Florida State versus UNC Greensboro. Who does the coin have winning? And it has UNC Greensboro as a 13 seed moving on. So we are guaranteed to have a double-digit seed. I guess a double-digit seed up there because we had VCU and Grand Canyon. But again here, so 2 double-digit seeds guaranteed for the Sweet 16. Up next, BYU versus the winner of Michigan State and UCLA. The coin flip has the winner of Michigan State and UCLA. Another upset pick there. So then Texas and Abilene Christian. Let's see about this one. We have Texas here moving on. So all 3 seeds moving on so far. Connecticut versus Maryland. I had Connecticut making a huge run in my tournament predictions video, but they will falter here in the first round to Maryland. So up next, Alabama versus Iona, the Fighting Rick Pitino's. Who does the coin flip have? We have Alabama as the 2 seed moving on. Should I feel disappointed about that? I don't know. But we'll move over here to this region, the South region over here. Baylor versus Hartford. Do we have a 16 seed moving on? We do. We have our first 16 seed. We have Hartford moving on past Baylor here for a spot in the round of 32. Congratulations to the Hartford. I think they're the Hawks. I mean, that's what it looks like there. Up next, we have North Carolina versus Wisconsin. We're to see North Carolina as an 8 seed, but it doesn't matter because we won't be seeing them any longer. We have Wisconsin moving on. Up next, with Villanova versus Winthrop. We have Villanova moving on as the 5 seed. Purdue versus North Texas up next. Will we see North Texas as a 13 seed? We will not. They were the first 13 seed to lose. We had, who did we had? We had Ohio here, and then who was the 13 seed down here? I can't even remember. We had UNC Greensboro, that's right. So up next, Texas Tech versus Utah State. Let's see what the coin flip has. We have Utah State as the 11 seed moving on. All right, we gotta have at least one 14/3 upset. Both of the 3 seeds have won so far. Colgate the Fighting Toothpastes? Nope. Arkansas is moving on. I almost clicked Colgate there. Florida versus Virginia Tech here. Heads versus tails. Who do we have? We have Florida moving on as the 7 seed. All right, Ohio State, Oral Roberts. Ohio State fans are going to be furious if it's Oral Roberts. And it's Oral Roberts. We have 2 15 seeds moving on here. 15 seed Grand Canyon. I mean, heck, in this region, we have 16 seed Hartford and 15 seed Oral Roberts. So down here in the Midwest, the last regional, Illinois versus Drexel. Will we have Illinois, my national champion, losing here? Nope, we have Illinois moving on. So we do have 1 16 seed at least advancing in Hartford. Up next, Loyola Chicago versus Georgia Tech. We have Georgia Tech moving on, the ACC champions. And then Tennessee and Oregon State. Who do we have moving on? We have heads. So we have Tennessee here moving on past Oregon State. Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham and Liberty. They were underseeded, in my opinion, facing Liberty. And yep, Cade Cunningham, Oklahoma State, moving on. San Diego State versus Syracuse here. I mean, there haven't really been too many upsets in this region so far. Tails, we do have Syracuse moving on. I mean, as an 11 seed, is that a true upset? I think we need another one. I think we need either Morehead State or Cleveland State, but it's not up to me. It is up to the coin flip. We have, yep, Morehead State, a 14 seed here moving on, so we at least have 1 14 seed winning. Clemson versus Rutgers. I'm feeling a heads here. I think Clemson's going to win this one with the heads. No, it's a tails. Okay, Rutgers. Now we're getting some upsets here in this region. Houston and Cleveland State. Will we have another 15 seed moving on? We do. We have 3 15 seeds advancing to the round of 32. We have Cleveland State, we have Oral Roberts, and we have Grand Canyon. So now it is time to see who moves on to the Sweet 16 here. Gonzaga versus Missouri for a spot in the Sweet 16. We have Missouri upsetting the 1 seed in Gonzaga. So we have Missouri here moving on to the Sweet 16. Creighton versus Ohio next. Will we have a double-digit seed in the Sweet 16? We will. Okay, Ohio. So our first double-digit seed in the Sweet 16 is Ohio. Scooting down a little bit here, Wichita State and Drake in Kansas. So we're actually rooting for heads here because heads is the team on top. We are rooting for heads, Wichita State and Drake. Oh, man, we have Kansas advancing here. So VCU and Grand Canyon. Okay, now we're okay with either, but we kind of want to see some tails here. We want to see some Grand Canyon action. We see VCU advancing to the Sweet 16. So down here, we'll move on. Michigan versus St. Bonaventure. Will we have a 1 seed moving on to the Sweet 16? We will not. We have St. Bonaventure, the 9 seed, advancing here. So then Georgetown and UNC Greensboro. This one is guaranteed to have a double-digit seed in the Sweet 16. We have UNC Greensboro, the 13 seed, 2 13 seeds here in the Sweet 16 so far. So another thing, we are rooting for heads here. Michigan State and UCLA versus Texas. Come on, Michigan State / UCLA heads. And we have heads. So we have another double-digit seed. Maryland and Alabama. You guys know the drill. We're rooting for heads again here. We want to see a double-digit seed advancing. And we have tails, so we do see Alabama advancing there to the Sweet 16. Back up here, Hartford versus Wisconsin. We need heads. We need the 16 seed advancing to the Sweet 16. And we do. We have Hartford, the 16 seed, moving on to the Sweet 16. Oh, man. Villanova and Purdue here reprising their battle in the round of 32 a couple of years ago, I think in 2019. We have Purdue here moving on as the bottom team with tails advancing. All right, Utah State and Arkansas. We need some heads here. We need to see a double-digit seed again. And we do. We have 11 seed Utah State. This bracket's not happening. No way. All right, Florida and Oral Roberts here. Back to wanting tails. We need Oral Roberts, the 15 seed. Oh, we have Florida advancing as the 7. So then down here in the last region, before we get to the Sweet 16, Illinois versus Georgia Tech. Will we have at least 1 seed, or 1 number 1 seed in the Sweet 16? Gonzaga fell, Michigan fell. I mean, Baylor fell in that first game. Let's see what happens. I don't know if I've already clicked it or not. Heads, we have Illinois here moving on past Georgia Tech, Tennessee and Oklahoma State. Will we have Tennessee advancing with heads as the lower seed? We will not. We have Oklahoma State advancing. So then we have Syracuse and Morehead State. We're guaranteed to have a double-digit seeder and a double-digit seed right there. But at first, obviously, Syracuse and Morehead State. Who do we have advancing? We have Syracuse past Morehead State. So then Rutgers and Cleveland State, another where we're guaranteed a double-digit seed. We have Cleveland State, maybe? Cleveland State advancing. So out of the 16 seeds, or 16 teams in the Sweet 16, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Half of the Sweet 16 teams are double-digit seeds. This is amazing. So then for a spot in the Elite Eight, Missouri versus Ohio. Who will we have advancing, a 9 or a 13? We have the bottom team. We have Ohio as the 13th seed advancing. Kansas and VCU. We want to see another tails here. And it is heads. We have Kansas advancing to the Elite Eight. That one's actually pretty realistic. So we'll just go ahead and stay over here since it's easier to see. Hartford versus Purdue. We're rooting for heads. We got to have a 16 seed in the Elite Eight. And we do! Hartford advancing to the Elite Eight as a 16 seed. Utah State and Florida. Okay, let's see what happens here. Come on, Utah State. We want to see another heads. We see tails, so we have Florida advancing to the Elite Eight there. So then scrolling down back here, St. Bonaventure versus UNC Greensboro. Rooting for another tails here to see UNC Greensboro representing the double-digit seeds, and we do. UNC Greensboro advancing. 11 seed Michigan State / UCLA versus Alabama. Let's see what happens. Come on, come on, the 11 seed. It is tails, so we see 2 seed Alabama advancing. So that one's pretty realistic. Illinois versus Oklahoma State, guaranteed to have a single-digit seed here. Come on, Illinois. Oh, we have Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State. All 1 seeds are gone. So here in the coin flip bracket, we will not have a single 1 seed in the Elite Eight. Syracuse and Cleveland State. Let's see if we have a 15 seed here. We need tails for it. We have a 15 seed. Oh my gosh. So in the Elite Eight here, we have a 2 seed in Alabama, a 3 seed in Kansas, a 4 seed in Oklahoma State, a 7 seed in Florida, and then we have a 13, so 1 double digit, 2 double digit at Hartford right there, 3 double digits, and 4. So again, half of the remaining teams are double digit seeds. So now it is time to build our final 4 here. Ohio versus Kansas, 13 versus 3. We are rooting for heads. We are rooting for heads. And it is heads. We have 13. Oh my gosh, 13 seed Ohio in the final 4. Hartford versus Florida. We are rooting for another heads here. We need 16 seed Hartford. We need 16 seed Hartford. Oh man, the run comes to an end. No 16 seeds in the final 4. So we have 7 seed Florida advancing. So down here, UNC Greensboro, Alabama, 13 versus 2. We need to have a 13 seed in the national championship guaranteed. We need heads here. We need UNC Greensboro. We have Alabama. So, I mean, this is kind of realistic. We have a 2 seed in the final 4 now. Oklahoma State versus Cleveland State. Come on, Cleveland State. We're rooting for tails again. Come on, Cleveland State. We have heads. Oh, man. So we have Oklahoma State advancing. So here in the final 4, we have 13 seed Ohio being the only remaining double-digit seed. So that by far, I'm sure, is the fan favorite at this point. 2 seed Alabama as well, along with the 4 and the 7. So usually in the final 4, the average of the last like 5 or 10 tournaments or something like that is 11 as the total amount of the 1 seeds. But here we have 15, we have 22, we have 26 as our seed count. Anyway, getting back to the picks, Ohio versus Alabama. We're rooting for heads here. We need Ohio. Come on, Ohio. Heads, 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 heads. We have Ohio in the national championship game. Come on, Bearcats. Come on, Ohio. Florida and Oklahoma State. Let's see what happens. Kind of rooting for Oklahoma State here, not going to lie. And it is Florida. So I think Florida made it to the national championship in my 2019 coin flip too. I think it was Florida and Oklahoma. So congratulations to Florida. I mean, you guys just know how to win with the coin flips. That means our national championship right here for the 2021 coin flip NCAA Tournament Bracket. Number 13 seed Ohio. Number 7 seed Florida. Come on, we are rooting for heads. The entire nation, the entire viewership of this video is rooting for heads, unless you're a Florida fan. But I mean, even if you're a Florida fan, come on, you got to root for the underdog. You got to root for the 13 seed. Will we have a 13 seed winning? This is the biggest coin flip of my life. We are rooting for heads. Here we go for the national championship. It is heads. We have Ohio. Ohio, 13 seed Ohio is our national champion here in the coin flip bracket. Man, I am so happy it turned out this way. I am so happy we have a double-digit seed and a team that, realistically, there's no chance Ohio to win the national championship in real life. But in the coin flip, anything can happen here, as proven by 13 seed Ohio winning the national championship. So, man, I'm just really happy with the way this coin flip turned out. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed watching this video. This video is always one of the most fun that I have producing. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm, pushes it forward, lets other people, or more, I don't even know what I'm saying. Just leave a like on the video, subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your reactions to all these different upsets and stuff and coin flips and all that fun stuff in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.